Deleting Virus here with the Ghost of Ragnarok, and now it's time for part 2. First thing we're going to go ahead and cover is gathering resources when you first get into the game. Now, when you first get into your server, it's going to pop up with personal goal stuff. This is just additional little things you can do. It's sort of like trophies. It will give you some titles and stuff like that. I'll cover that in a different tutorial. Now, if you'll notice, you'll have, depending on which server and which server cluster you're on, you'll have a bunch of new tabs that might pop up. You'll have a chat tab for the kingdom that you're in, and then there's a global kingdom which sort of reaches between various things. As you can see, there's people busy. Now, one thing I want to point out is you get handed off a bunch of stuff right off the bat. You're going to be given shields and stuff like that, and it's a good idea to go ahead and equip that. So you're going to want to go ahead and bring up your character and equip some of this stuff. Oops, that was the character window. I meant to hit character. So, and go ahead and equip certain items. Like, let's see, the birchwood shield. You're going to go ahead and put that in a shield spot, which is right there. And you definitely want to put your short sword in your hand right here. Now, a few things will not show back up if you end up dying. All of this will go ahead and show up if you end up dying, unless you die in a PvP combat related death. Then everything but this hand mirror will go away. And with the hand mirror, you go ahead and select use, and you can change what you look like various ways, change your head type, eyes. This will go away after you use it, but this hand mirror will pop back up. It's usually either a couple days, it might take a week. It just sort of randomizes it for you a little bit there. Go ahead and put this tool belt on. This is really handy right here. You can go ahead and take various tools and items and put it in there, and you have a quick select. As you can see, I know I got it equipped just by clicking on it. And you can get more slots on it if you get a higher quality tool belt, but that's going to be in a different crafting lesson in itself. The two items in here that will not show back up is going to be the pottery bowl and your backpack. If you end up dying to a monster, these things will be left on your body, and you're going to have to run back and get your body. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off on the first finding resources. Now, the most basic thing you're going to probably need right off the bat is finding food and other stuff for healing covers. Now, the way you do go about doing this is you run over to an open grass tile area or a steppe, and you just right click and you can hit forage. Now, if no one's gone through the area, you'll be able to go ahead and forage and botanize. And they're both sort of the same thing, except botanize allows you to go ahead and get seeds, while foraging allows you to go ahead and get berries and a few other things. And you'll find some raw resources like sticks and rocks and all that stuff. Now, you'll be able to go ahead and eat this stuff in order to maintain presence, but don't really need to worry about that too much, because wandering around the area for your first 24 hours will be the refresh guys, which I don't see them right off the bat right here. Where are they? There should be one or two wandering around the starting settlement token area. Ah, here we go. Here is one right here, bartender. So you can just run up to him for the first 24 hours and just ask for refreshments. And there you go, my water and food's refilled. This will also keep your nutrition at 50% for the first time, because if you go ahead and just eat like berries and meat you carved off from dead animals, it's going to lower your nutrition. You're able to keep your nutrition and raise your nutrition by cooking specialty foods. Now that I've shown you how to go ahead and get berries and some other stuff, we're going to go ahead and run over here to the north side here, and we're going to cut down some wood. As you can see, there's quite a few players already active right now, which is a good thing. Also note the large amount of dead bodies here. These are where players have ran and died. There is monsters on here. Oh, there is a dead player right here that died not too long ago. And if you're, most likely you're not going to be able to take them right off the bat, in which case you're going to have to run all the way back over to there, and the guards at that settlement will go ahead and guard you and kill the monster. Or you can run over to a guard tower, and within local you can type help or guards, and if there are any guards around that tower, they'll run to your defense. So anyway, we're going to go over to a tree-rich area, just right over here. You can see it's nighttime, so it's going to be a little bit hard to see some of the stuff that's going on within the game here. But that's actually what they had in mind. If it's dark out, it's going to be dark out and hard to see. There is lanterns and other things that you can make to light up the area. And we have a tree right here. This is a pine tree. And it's within the perimeter of a settlement, so I'm not going to try to chop it down. You're going to have two different types of trees. You're going to have your standard wood-bearing tree, pine trees, birch trees, maple, oak, and then you're going to have your fruit trees. Trees that will produce fruit like this cherry tree. Now, the problem is with these fruit trees, they do not produce a lot of wood. And the most notoriously hard one right here is the lemon tree. You will be spending a long time trying to cut that down just to get it out. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll be able to hit this. Let's go ahead and see if I can just cut it down. Okay, I'm able to cut down the tree. That's good news. Okay, you can just right click on the ground tile there where the tree has grown and cue it up. And it will take a little bit of time. If you hit examine, you can see the tree is now starting to take damage. Now there is another way you can go about cutting down the tree, and it involves key binding instead of having to constantly right click. Now the best way you go about doing this is you either hit console up here or you press F1 on the keyboard, and what you're going to do is within the console type in bind whatever key you want, and just go ahead and say U for this one, and then you're going to type in the command, which is going to be chop _ down. Oops. Okay. Correction. Give me a sec here. Double check. Oh. Chop up. No. Or cut down. Correction. It was cut down. So. Sorry about that. Not chop down. Chop up is when you got it down on the ground. So. Cut _ down as a two-worded action. There you go. We have the key binding saved. Now, all you have to do is hit the U key, which in my case I set the U or whatever key you set it to, and you can queue up the action 3 times. Now, you're going to be able to queue up more actions later on by increasing certain stats. And we now have down the tree. Now, if you're really strong, you could pick up the tree, but we don't have enough strength for that. But what we can do is go ahead and chop up this tree. And every single time, cut up a tree, it's going to lay various logs, and it's going to lay it at your feet as soon as you get done. Can't really see it here. So we'll go ahead and just finish chopping this up. Or if you want, you can keybind it, and the keybind for that one will be bind whatever key you want, chop, and then up, _ up. And this way you're not sitting there and getting carpal tunnel. All you got to do is hit the Y. You go ahead and find that. Now as we're chopping this up, some of you might have like a G-Force, well, a G5 or G15, G whatever number keyboard that has the macro keys and all that stuff. It has been stated in the rules that you're allowed to use those keys to fill up your actions, but if you set up the keybinds to auto-repeat, you are now in violation of the rules. You have to be at your keyboard manually sort of hitting it in. So for those of you who have like those G keys to make macros, don't do it unless you're just going to say, okay, do 3 actions and all that stuff. There's also some inefficiencies with you just sitting there holding down the key, and I'll cover that in a different thing. Okay, now we have generated a nice little log pile right here. And within it, you'll find the various logs that you've cut up. Quality will affect the stuff that you can produce and all that stuff. We're just going to go ahead and pull one log out of here, and we're going to walk over to a community mine and get some other resources for production. Oh, whoops, I pulled a very small log. Also, to keep in note, weight. Weight comes in big play on how much material you got to work with. So this is a warning saying if you drop anything on the ground, anybody else can come by and pick it up, kind of thing. And what you want to do is you want to grab a full weighted log. A full weighted log is 24 units of weight. I think it's kilograms. I'm not 100% certain on that part, but I'll just call it kilos for now. And I got one chestnut log, so I'm going to run over to the community mine over here. Oh, I think it's over here. As you can see, it's very easy to get lost, especially if it's dark out. Now, with this log, you'll be able to create some of the key resources you're going to need in order to, well, key tools you're going to need to get going within the first part of the game. And also, if you're going to need water, there's 2 locations, well, actually 3 locations you can get it from after you run out of the use of the bartender for refreshments. And you can go ahead and get it from the coastline. Apparently, it's a giant freshwater lake, so you're able to walk to the nearest lake, ocean shore, whatever, and get a drink of water from there. You can get it from the well like you saw in the tutorial in the previous video, if the well has been set up on a spring, and there's certain ways that is done. Okay, now to get some resources. Within this mine, somewhere, there should be an iron vein. Ah, here we go. We got an iron vein right here. Now, in order to mine iron, you're going to have to go ahead and activate your pickaxe. And when you walk over to your pickaxe, oh, that's a cave wall. Right click and do the mining, as in what the tutorial said. Now, if you want to, which I highly recommend, you have the prospect option, and if you're going to be mining up a lot of resources, you're going to go ahead and you're going to want to like key up, do mining twice, and do a prospect a 3rd time. Because you're going to want to level up your prospecting skills, and it's going to tell you what quality this iron vein is once you get enough skill into it. It'll also tell you the quality of rock shards you're going to get out of the cave wall for if you're going to build decent quality walls that are going to withstand the tests of times and intruders and stuff like that. Now, when you first mine your ore, it's going to just go ahead and drop it on the ground. Now, this is in stark contrast if you're going to be digging up dirt, which automatically puts it in your inventory. Whoops, didn't mean to hit track. So we're going to go ahead and just mine up 2 things of iron ore. Also, to give you a heads up, when you are mining, normal cave walls will disappear after about 50 mining attempts on them. There's the other ore. As you can see, I'm now weighted down quite a bit. Now, there is 2 ways to turn this iron ore into a usable material. And the 2 ways is you either put it in a campfire or you put it in a forge that you have to light up. Now we're gonna go ahead and open up this forge, see if there's any thing in it. Okay, good. So we don't have to worry about accidentally mixing our stuff up with anybody else's stuff. Now, first thing you're gonna need to do is, you got this chestnut log, is you're gonna need to go ahead and carve up yourself some kindling. So what you're gonna do is activate your carving knife, and then you're going to miscellaneous. You go to kindling. You're going to also want to put your iron ore within the within your fireplace or whatever. And this is if you got a forge. Now there is another, do the campfire. It's almost the exact same thing, and you may have to do a couple attempts here. You have a 50% chance of creating your kindling. So since I'll be also showing you guys how to make a campfire down here. Okay, we went ahead and got some kindling. So we got some kindling, now it's in our inventory. Now you're going to want to take your flint and steel, you're going to right click on this, and you're going to want to light the fireplace up. And it's going to go ahead and use the kindling within your inventory and light it. As soon as I get done with this action right here, I'll go ahead and light it. Also to note, as you do various things, you'll have a stamina drain up here. The more the stamina drains, if it gets down lower than 50%, it can take longer for your next action. That's what I was referring to when you're keying up stuff. If you key up like mining, prospecting, the prospecting is going to take a little bit longer, but prospecting is a very quick action, and then you just wait for your stamina regain. If you let it deplete all the way, instead of taking 20 to 30 seconds to do a mine, do a mine action, it can take over a minute. Okay, now we have the fire going, and it's going to start heating this up. Now, important things to factor in: the quality of the forge or campfire you are working with will greatly influence the impact of how fast things will heat up. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of fuel to this, and I'm going to show you how to make a fire as we wait for the iron ore here to heat up and turn to iron. Now, for kindling, for creating the campfire, there's two ways of doing it. You can do the route of using flint and steel, and right-clicking on kindling and creating a campfire. Now you need 1.5 kilos of kindling in order to create a fire. If you end up failing, you're going to have to make some more kindling in order to create it. Okay, we got the fire up and going. And as you can see, it's a little bit low quality fire here of 6.5, and it will last a little bit of time. And you can add fire to these, add wood to these things. As you can see, the wood's getting hot in this one, and it'll extend how long it's going to burn for. Now, it doesn't mean dumping entire trees in these things to let them go forever. These things have about a lifespan of about 2 hours at high quality. So this regular campfire here will roughly last about at maximum fuel burn about 45 minutes to maybe an hour. And so it's pretty obvious which one you're going to want to go for if you're going to do a lot of smelting. And also another note, you can use these things to cook stuff. So if I had some meat on me or something like that, I can add in a pottery, put this berry in the pottery bowl and then add some meat, and then I can make a stew or something like that. And all I do is put it within the fire. You can put it in the forge too, and it'll do the exact same thing. There is a third item that burns stuff, which is the oven. I don't see one here right now, so I won't be able to show you that at this time. But as you can see, that's getting heated, and the wood has burnt from this. So right now, waiting for this iron to go from searing hot to glowing hot, in which case at that time frame it's just going to go ahead and turn into straight iron. Now, iron ore weighs about 20 kilos every single time you pull it up, and when it goes ahead, when it finally gets to glowing hot, it's going to turn to iron, and it's going to turn into 1 kilo weight units for your that you're able to carry, and you're able to carry a decent amount of iron. and you're going to need work with a lot of iron. So you're just going to wait for these things to finish burning. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and do a time skip on this. Okay, there we go. We have lump iron, and it is now glowing from the heat. Now you have something to work with, and when you have it glowing from the heat, you're also able to go ahead and combine it together and make large lumps, so this way you have a lot of stuff to work with. Unfortunately, you can't really do that with chestnut logs. Also, I forgot, and I'm going to show you this right now. In order to make the other item that I was referring, well, the other way of making the campfire is you're going to need at least some kindling. We're going to go ahead and make that, and we're going to go ahead and make a shaft, because what you're going to do is you're going to take go ahead and take the scrap wood that you get from doing a log project, and you're going to use it with the kindling in order to make a campfire. Unfortunately, it's going to end up at a very low quality when you go through this method, because it's usually goes off of the low the combined quality of the two products that you're putting together. And as you can see, the quality for just the scrap wood is 0.83, so, and the lowest quality item you can really create is actually 1. So it's really going to bring down the quality of the kindling that I end up making here as soon as I actually create it. Cue it up one more time just to make sure I hopefully get it. Nope, I failed again. And if you notice, as I'm carving out, you'll fail interactions and stuff like that. I forgot to mention, you get the skills tab. You can actually see your skills going up here. There we go. We have that. And the higher you raise your skills, the better chances you are of creating higher level items, and well, higher quality and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to activate the scrap wood and right click on the kindling, and you can see now I can create a campfire. Of course, I don't think, okay, never mind, I'm gonna need more scrap wood, but you get the idea. I'm not sure the exact minimum of scrap wood you're able to use. I think it might be actually 1.5 kilos also for the scrap wood. And all you got to do is right click containers and make a campfire. And this is handy if you end up dying in PvP and you need to create items from scratch. I will post a link in the description to a tutorial video on how to literally start from scratch if you have nothing, that I done several months ago. So anyway, I am gonna end here, and I'll go ahead and create a next video about how to make the basic items you're gonna need for getting through the game, starting off. The basic tools that you do not start out with that are very handy and needed. So, see you next time.